Hello, everyone. My name is Boris von Bormann. I'm the co-founder of Renew Energy, and I'm here today with Israel Sánchez from Trinasolar. And what we're looking to present to you is the partnership between Renew
Hello,
Energy
Boris.
and Trinasolar.
Nice to be here.
Hi, Israel. Good to see you. We're looking to promote the partnership between Renew Energy and Trinasolar. It's our announcement here to distribute the modules of Trinasolar in the Caribbean. As you all know, due to some political changes in the United States, product that is made in Asia is impacted. And for those installers that have been getting the module and obtaining the modules out of the US market through distribution, we now have the opportunity to distribute these modules from Trinasolar in the Caribbean market directly with circumventing or without passing through the United States, and therefore being able to provide you a quicker product, local support, and better pricing, hopefully. So, Joseph, if you can switch to the presentation of mine, then we can get started. So who's Renew Energy? Maybe just to give you just a quick background, and then I promise I keep it really brief for you guys. We are located, our headquarters are in Turks and Caicos Islands. We do have warehousing in Curacao and also in Jamaica. So therefore, we have the opportunity to distribute throughout the Caribbean market from north to south and middle. And we have also, in general, our philosophy focused on high quality materials. So even when we first started installing ourselves, we have an installation site as well in Turks and Caicos, but then only distributing throughout the rest of the Caribbean. We focus only on high quality materials, and therefore our partnership with Trinasolar, as they have the dedication to high performance and also long-term reliability. And that gives us the opportunity to strengthen that local supply chain in the Caribbean market, as I mentioned before. Why did we pick Trinasolar, and why have we been using Trinasolar for most of our installs? Is obviously it's a tier 1 bankability and global reputation behind it. We have efficiency and innovation that is outperforming most of the competitors, and one of the most important items for us in the Caribbean, and as many of you probably are as well, we are exposed to high winds as well as harsh weather, very saline conditions close to the ocean, where a lot of modules are impacted. A lot of modules also exclude warranties out of this market. And therefore, Trinasolar offers us and gives us the opportunity to provide that in the Caribbean market with really high wind solution modules, giving us the warranty that we need, and we can now pass that on to you. And therefore, we also have Trina backing this by their global R&D, and obviously with the long-term warranties. But Israel obviously is going to go more into the market and more into the products that they offer in the market, or that we can offer through Trinasolar in the market in more detail. And on the technical side, so if you have any technical questions, please hold them for Israel, because he can answer them much more efficient and much more in depth than I can. As I mentioned to you, we have 3 locations that we distribute out of: Turks and Caicos Islands, Jamaica, and Curacao, so we can cover the whole market. And depending where you're located with your business, we can offer the modules in a quick solution, and we can, depending on obviously product availability and what we have in each location, but we can make that work no matter where you are throughout the Caribbean. What are the key benefits? We have local product availability. So in our warehouses, we have stock. You can access that stock. You can order less than container load, obviously, which maybe if you've been using US distributors, you're used to that, ordering by the pallet. If you're ordering directly from China, obviously it's a very different requirement, as you're looking to go from a full container to less than container load. It's much easier. So you can have smaller projects. If you need product for smaller projects, you can just order directly from us. We can ship you by the pound. So, and that's very convenient. You can avoid the US tariffs, as I mentioned to you. This is the whole idea behind this, or this is why we reached out to Trina and we formed this partnership, as there needs to be now a local opportunity and local program for you, so that way you don't have to ship through the United States. gives you faster project timelines. You have product available, and obviously we are local. We can support. We can provide you ideas. We can give you our expertise on the modules and best practices. So if you're looking, for example, to design to high winds of 185 miles per hour, which we need to do sometimes in Turks and Caicos for some of the projects that we do, as we're in a high hurricane zone, we can give you the ideas. Okay, how do we clamp? What's the best practices, etc., around this product to achieve that? And that's almost it, right? So together with Trinasolar, we're trying to reshape energy access in the Caribbean. We all believe that the Caribbean is just best suited for solar energy, very limited local resources except wind and solar, but we have an abundance of that. So we should use that. Premium solar modules from Trinasolar obviously is the key to have high quality product and product that stands up in the harsh environments that we have there. And that's what we're trying to achieve together with you. So let's build a better tomorrow. That's our motto at Renew Energy. And looking forward to working with you. So feel free to reach out. As I mentioned before here on this slide, there's our contact information at Renew Energy, very straightforward, renew.energy. You can reach out on the website. You can find all the information there. As well, send me an email, info@renew.energy. My direct email is Boris, BORIS, @renew.energy. And very too easy to get. So looking forward to working with you, looking forward to getting your inquiries. Glad to send out quotes, any stock information, be able to do that. And when Israel goes through the product, I'll give you an idea of what we have currently in stock, and then also what's coming down the pipeline, so you can always get anything that you need. So Israel, I'm going to turn it over now to you, and looking forward to hearing on the technical side. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Boris, for that introduction. And also thank you to all the audience that we have right now. I encourage you to write your questions in the chat if you have any, and we will be answering them later within this webinar, this training. But yeah, thank you, Boris, so much for the introduction to your company. And now I'm going to move a little bit more to, let me see if we can present. Okay, please let me know if you can see my screen, if you can see the Trinasolar presentation. So if that is okay, we can move forward. But I will be talking a little bit more, like Boris said, about who are we in Trina, what do we represent, what do we stand for, and how this collaboration, let's call it that way, this partnership with Boris and Renew Energy help us to reach some difficult locations that will be complicated our own, instead of going with some really good partners like Boris and his company. Okay. Well, this map over here, you can see that we're basically everywhere around the world. Trinasolar is a company that was founded on 1997, so we're over 20 years old. We have been developing PV technology for over 28 years now, and this is really important because we are one of the oldest Chinese companies in the market right now, dedicated 100% on the PV technology and obviously everything related to the clean energy generation. During these 28 years, we have been producing modules, and more recently, we have been producing also fixed structures and trackers for big projects, for utility scale projects, and more recently, also for utility projects. We have introduced recently, during last year, our energy storage system business unit. So I would like to focus right here on the Latin American part. If you can see, we have presence basically all around Latin America, and this is really important because this has given us the opportunity to have this local presence, but not just for the salespeople or the product people like myself, but we have mainly all the operation that is needed for our company to function within Latin America, except for the manufacturing, of course, but we have right here people for the marketing department, HR, legal, product, technical, sales, operations team that help us to facilitate this business on a day-to-day basis. So right now, well, as you can see, we have presence from Mexico all the way to Chile, and right now we work with companies like Renew Energy to reach those difficult places that we cannot reach right now by ourselves. So up to this day, these are some of the numbers that we have seen within Trinasolar. We have a manufacturing capacity of 120 gigawatts per year, and we have sold until until December last year, more than 275 gigawatts of modules all around the world. And these following numbers are really important because, as Boris mentioned, we take very seriously the research and development part of the business. So we have broken 22 world records of PV cell efficiency and module power. That is something that you can see if you follow us on our LinkedIn page or on our Instagram. We have two different Instagram pages, one dedicated to the Brazilian market and one for the rest of Latin America. So you can go follow us there, and you can get all the news for Trina all around the world every day. So another thing that Boris mentioned, and I think that it's really important, is what Trina represents, not just in the sales part, but also for the whole PV industry. As Boris mentioned, we are a tier 1 module manufacturing company, and we have been in the top 3 bankable PV module companies according to Bloomberg New Energy Finance for a really long time. Also, in more recent years, we have been seeing that the bankability ratings from PV Module Tech, that it's a pyramid shape kind of representation of the bankability. We have been recognized as AA for a long time, if I'm not mistaken, for over 3 years now, that this kind of rating has been around. And also, and most important, well, right now, these two companies, Bloomberg and PV Module Tech, they're based their ranking mainly on bankability items, okay? And most of their reports are private, and no one can see those reports because, well, they include a lot of private information about the finances of each of the companies. But something that I would like to share with you is that we also work with third-party labs around the world, that what they do is basically they take some of the harshest tests that are on the market available to see the reliability of our modules, the performance, and also the quality of the bill of materials that we use. So in that sense, we have been recognized for 11 years in a row as a Kiwa PVL top performer. That is something that only us and another module manufacturer have been able to being recognized as a top performer for 11 years in a row. And also, on a same note, but maybe some, a lab that is more focused on the North American market, which is RETC. They do similar tests to this kind of module, similar to what Kiwa does, and we have been also been recognized as highest achiever for 5 years in a row. So by these two independent labs, we have been awarded like the most prestigious prize that they give to the PV module manufacturers. And one of the important things about this that differs or that make it different from the other ones that we have been talking about, Bloomberg or the PV Module Tech, is that these two are based only on the modules, not the bankability, not the production capacity of the module manufacturer, but on actual test, on actual modules that we produce. And they do this kind of test every year. You can go also and check on their webpage the results. So it's not as private as the other two last publications that I mentioned. Also, Wood Mackenzie, one of the biggest consultancy firms in the world, have recognized us as a top 10 global PV module manufacturer in 2024 and in the previous years. Also, I would like to encourage you guys to write your questions, your comments in the comment section so that we can review them later and answer some of the questions that you may have. Sorry, I love to use this graph because it shows how the PV technology has evolved over basically since 2009 up to 2025. Okay, so you can see that this graph, it shows the power of the available modules within the market, but in the upper part you can see that we're talking about some technological changes that we have been facing throughout basically these 15, 16 years in the PV module. Okay, so you can see that we have been moving really fast in some periods of time, but also I indicate here 3 of the most important technological changes, at least for myself, that we have seen over this year. And this one over here between 2014 and 2015 represent the change that we did from multicrystalline modules to monocrystalline monoPERC modules that basically have been that were the main product for almost 10 years. And here is where we saw most of the technological advantages that paved the technological way to where we are now. And we can see also that from 2019, we changed how we represent the evolution of the PV power on the modules because the changes were really, really fast. See, so you can see that previously we were having maybe 5 to 10 watts increase per year, and then something happened that we're going to see in a minute right now, basically. And then 2019 came, and we began to see this increase of maybe 50 watts, but not per year. As you can see here, it's by semester. So basically in 1 year, we could increase the power of the module by 100 watts. And this is because on 2020, which is here where I indicated another important point in the technological development of the PV modules, is that this was the first time in the PV recent history where we have 2 different ideologies on where to take the modules from. One of them was to do to use the 182 millimeter cells, which gave the module manufacturer the possibility to increase the power, but with a low current but higher voltage, to keep using most of the inverters that were available at the time. And by the other hand, we have the 210 millimeters modules, which basically because we here at Trina, we were really promoting really hard this technology that gave us the possibility to increase the power by having a higher current but a lower voltage, which gave us the opportunity to increase the power per string. Basically, we were in some history maybe using this 550 watt module. We had the possibility to connect somewhere around 35 modules per string, which gave us a huge advantage against 182 millimeter cells. So the next step on the evolution that we had was at the beginning of 2023, where basically all of this was considered a P-type module, and the transition to N-type module began in 2023. And it is something that we are right now going to present to you guys, but also something that we did back in 2022 was the introduction of a rectangular cell, one cell that help us to take advantage of the best of these two worlds that I talked to you about recently, about the 182 millimeters and the 210 millimeters. That is one of the modules that we present and that help us to pave the way to most of the modules, not just manufactured by Trina, but basically by the whole industry. And as you can see, we have been through a lot of changes really, really fast in the past 10 years. And this is when I'd like to introduce this part of the Kiwa PVL top performer recognition that we got from Kiwa, which is, as I mentioned before, an independent lab, as we in Trina are one of the only 2 manufacturers that have been able to get the top performer recognition for these 11 years in a row. And this is really important because this shows the commitment, like Boris said, the commitment that we at Trina have for research and development, and also to always have the best product with the best reliability and obviously the highest tech possible available in the market. And this has shown in this, if you can see this graph, this table, you can see that even though there were a lot of changes during the manufacturing process or the technology, we were able to always keep great quality modules, never lose the reliability on our products, and always be able to present modules on the top quality possible so that we can recognize this, so that we can get this recognition from Kiwa as a top performer. And that is something that maybe other brands that are really popular in the market cannot really say. We can see that some of the other modules were not able to do that transition for the N-type technology that we're going to discuss in a couple minutes. They were not able to do that transition when the market was asking for it. Okay, so as you can see, Trina has been working on a high quality and high reliability standard basically for the last 28 years. And like I mentioned, one of the things that I would like to discuss right now, because also we have like some information, I don't want to say misleading, but some confusing, let's call it confusing information that it's around the market right now with different products or different technologies that are available right now for some different manufacturers. I'd like to use information from third parties. So as you can see here, this graph was made by PV Infolink, which is a really important and recognizable PV publication that basically tracks technology trends, also some of the prices on some of the materials that we use. So back in March 2023, they published these two graphs where they indicated that the following steps for the PV module manufacturers will be here in the first graph to move from P-type manufacturing to N-type manufacturing. So that 2023 was going to be, according to them, remember that this was published on March 2023, was going to be the first year where the N-type capacity of the PV modules around the world was going to exceed the capacity of the production capacity, of the P-type modules. And as you can see, basically the N-type capacity, the P-type capacity was going to be, according to them, stay the same for the following years, but the one that is going to increase is N-type module capacity. And then we have over here a little bit of back contact technology. But from all of these, basically, the main technology that PV Infolink was expecting back in 2023, it's going to be TOPCon modules, which is the technology that we are pushing, that we are manufacturing right now. And as you can see, basically by 2026, they were expecting that more than 80% of the module or the capacity available, the manufacturing capacity available in the world would be TOPCon, which is really important because later on, last year, basically by December of last year, 18 months later, they did another publication where they can see that their numbers were really, really close to reality because by 2023, they mentioned that only 24% of the manufacturing capacity was TOPCon, but this had a huge jump to 2024 where basically 70% of the market was already TOPCon technology. And this is the year we did this change in technology between 2023 and 2024. And basically by today, most of the production capacity, at least for Trina, is TOPCon. We're talking about maybe more than 95% of our technology, of our manufacturing capacity is based on TOPCon. And as you can see, also PV Infolink, they consider that at least for the next 5 years, TOPCon will be the mainstream technology for all the PV module manufacturers. And this also is supported by, if you go to last year shipments by module manufacturers, you can see that on the top 10 of the PV module manufacturers, 8 of those 10 are TOPCon based module manufacturers. So that's something that we're going to keep seeing within the following years, okay? So taking that into consideration, from 2024, all of our products available for the Latin American market are based on N-type, and most of them, around 75% of our family or our products available, are based on the rectangular cell that I mentioned um, a couple of slides ago. So as you can see, we have basically 4 families of modules that range from the small module, which is basically the one that we use and recommend a lot in the Caribbean market for some of the things that we're going to mention in some more slides. But also we go up to the biggest module that it's also our most powerful. But one of the things that is really important right here, and I would like to mention, is that if you can see, the efficiency of the module is really similar across all the families. So not because you see a module that it's somewhere around 450 watts, that represents that the efficiency of that module is lower than maybe one of our 720 watt module, because it's really close, it's really similar. But what affects the power of the module is the size. But we have some good reasons to have these different sides of products, okay, that we are going to mention. And if I'm not mistaken, Boris, you can talk about this a little bit further. But our main products available for the Caribbean markets, at least with Renew Energy, are within this family, because some of the things that I'm going to mention a little bit further, but some are really important things, like our Vertex S module, that it's the name, the commercial name of these modules. We have a special build for this module, which is basically we have glass over glass, a dual glass structure. As you can see here, we have glass in the front part, and then we have the encapsulant, the cells that, like I mentioned, are N-type TOPCon cells, and then another part of encapsulant and glass in the back part. This allows us to have a higher reliability on our product and to be able to be safer for the harsh conditions that we have in the Caribbean market. So this design, we have a 1.6 millimeter thick glass on the front part and also in the back part, okay? This allows us to keep the mechanical load on the modules as according to some of the IEC standards and also UL standard. But that give us also the possibility to have a higher mechanical load for, I mean, resistance for wind, which can go up to 235 kilometers per hour. It depends on the fixing methods that you use, but this module has this ability to withstand this kind of mechanical loads on some, let's call it standard fixing conditions that we can see in the following slides. And also one of the interesting things is that this module can withstand also hail tests for 35 millimeters. Another thing that we can do with this module is that is one of the most versatile modules for installation methods. As you can see, well, these two are mainly like the most popular ways to install these modules if you want to give it some inclination, maybe, well, depending, because if you're in the Caribbean, we want to keep that a little bit lower, but you can go up to 25% of, 25 angles of inclination. We have seen that in some parts of Mexico, for example, or in the northern part of Latin America. That's okay. You can do that with this module, but also you can do this regular crossed beam. And one of the things that you can do with this module that maybe is not available for all of the modules that we have are these two fixing methods. One of them is the shared rail, where basically you reduce the amount of rails and obviously the material that you use, and you can use this kind of installation method without losing too much mechanical load capacity. And this sliding mounting that is similar to the shared rail, but it's where you slide the module in order to fix it in a different kind of way. You can do it. But this is one of the most versatile modules that we have to offer to you guys. And I highly encourage you to go and review our installation manual, so you can see we have basically 25 pages of different installation methods that you can go and see how this module can be installed, under which condition, which mechanical load condition, and how you can use the different methods to reduce cost on your installation, but also maybe not lose too much mechanical load capacity. So in high wind places, you can still keep your modules working and don't be afraid of maybe losing some warranties. And these are some of the examples that we have seen of installation, because also this module, we have it in three different presentations, which is the regular module with aluminum frame, white encapsulant, which is basically the regular one. We have a full black module, which is with black frame, black encapsulant, that give us a more aesthetic appearance. And also we have one that it's black frame, like this one that I'm showing over here. We have it with black frame, transparent encapsulant, and as it is a dual glass module, we can have this also as a bifacial module. So those are the two families that we have seen, that we have available, and that you can use for your different projects. Joseph, can you help us with the video that we will show about this module, please? Well, thank you to the production team that helped us doing this transition. So as you could see, this module is really versatile on installation, and obviously we have some really good appearance on some of the modules that we can offer. If you want like more aesthetic, more aesthetic PV installation, but also regarding these modules, as you can see, the smaller module, the 9R family, as you can see over here, we have three different, give me 1 second that I cannot see my screen really well. Okay, so if you can see, we have three different families, as I mentioned. The regular aluminum frame module with white backsheet, let's call it that way. And then we have the full black experience, which is black frame, black laminate, and also, well, if you see it from the back part, you will see like the white glass on the back part, but it's something that you will not be able to see once the module is installed. And also we have the bifacial transparent laminate module, which is the one that I showed you in this carport installation, okay? And the following slide is going to talk a little bit more about one of our also really versatile modules, and one of the ones that we sell the most, around Latin America, which is the 19R family, which is like, it's one of the modules that it's called the golden size module. It's based on our older version of this module that was the first one with a rectangular cell in the whole PV market. And we have been working also with this module. And one of the things that I want to mention about this module is that during this year, we are launching a special module that it's called Shield module. It's a module designed for maybe some of the harshest environments around the world. And let me show you like the main characteristics on this module, okay? Because we are based on the golden size dimension of this module. We're keeping this golden size frame, this golden size structure that allow us to transport somewhere around, I mean, not somewhere around, but 720 modules per container. But this, what it's make it different from other modules in the market is that we are using a 2.5 glass in the front part and 2.5 millimeter glass in the back part. So this allows to withstand hail test maybe from 55 millimeters and a maximum of 75 millimeters depending on the angle on the installation. When a regular module, the maximum that it's required to withstand is a 35 millimeter hail test. Also for the fire test, regular modules can withstand, as you know, there are two different tests to get the fire rating. One which is basically a burning block, another it's like a flamethrower, and if you get an A in the burning block and a C on the flamethrower, you will get approved by IEC. So now with this module, we get a double A on A, basically an A grade in each of these two tests. Also for higher mechanical loads, this module can withstand a maximum mechanical capacity in the front part of 8,000 pascals, where regular modules can go up to 5,400 pascals, and which is the most interesting part, I think, at least for the Caribbean market, is the wind test that we have done. On fixed structures, we can go up to 6,000 pascals in the back part, which is basically more than double what a regular module with IEC test requires. So basically, that is all my presentation right now. We can go back to Boris, so we can review which of the products are available with him and how we can work around and how we can help you to accomplish all of your projects with this amazing partnership that we have with Renew Energy that is helping us to reach these different markets. Thank you, Boris.
Israel, thank you, Israel. Well done, and appreciate that. Maybe if you can bring up, Joseph, if you can bring up Israel's slide one more time, or the presentation, and just jump back 2 slides that has the overview. Yeah, perfect. So maybe that's a kind of good overview for everyone to have on there. But just to give you an idea, at the moment we're stocking the first module, which is the all black, and also the one with the back white sheet. So the .28, so the NEG 9R.28 and the NEG 9R.25. Those are the smaller frame modules, which are great for the high wind areas, as it obviously gives you a very strong resistance on wind performance. But then also, as Israel mentioned, the how did you call it, the gold format module? I like that. That's we have that on the water as well, so it will be available as well soon in the market. And so, but also, looking at all of your interest and to see where your sweet spots are. I know, for example, in Curacao, we're not quite in the hurricane belt, for example. We can use larger format modules, less clamping points, where once you go up to the Bahamas and Bermuda and Turks and Caicos and the regions where we are there, we get hit by as you know, the Cat 5 hurricanes sometimes, or at least they're passing, hopefully always close by and never hitting us direct. And there we often like to use the smaller format modules. So, but it's your preference as an installer or as a company, and how you like to handle it on the roof, and what your equipment is to lift, or if it's a ground mount, if you're using trackers, etc. So glad to answer any questions. And again, thank you, Israel. And then hopefully that gives you a good idea of what we currently have in the market.
Thank you, Boris. Maybe we can go and see some questions. Joseph, can you help us to bring out some of the questions?
I see that there.
Sorry, I think that we lost Boris. Let me see if we can bring him back. Here we have a question from Timothy McBride. Hail, wind force, fire, what about acid rain or corrosion? All of our modules have been tested for some of the, we lost Boris. Sorry about that. We're going to try to bring him back. We have a lot of different IEC certificates, which basically, depending on the type of corrosion that you're talking about, we can present you the specific certificates that you require. We have ammonia, salt mist, corrosion in both cases, so we can talk about that. We can present all the certificates that you require for this, for your specific needs. Also, if there is some specific certificate that you require, we can analyze that information and also present that to you if the case is, if this certificate is available. Also, one of the things that we like to have a wide variety of products is that we may have some specific certificates for some of the modules, but maybe not for all of them, because it doesn't make too much sense, for example, to have one particular certificate for a market that it's not going to be required. Also, as we have a strong presence in the Latin American market, we can work around and get the local certificates needed to be sold in each of the specific markets, like Colombia, Chile, Brazil, Mexico. And if we get a requirement maybe for some of the places like Jamaica or Curacao or other of the island, we can work on that specific local requirements to best help you to achieve your projects. So we have Boris back.
Sorry, I hope it wasn't a hurricane coming up, but no, we are definitely available, and if there's any more questions, we can help answer anything. And as you mentioned, Israel, if there's any local requirements, glad to support in what is needed to make a project happen. The team from Trina is amazing in support, and we always get quick responses. So if there's any questions that are needed on your end, or any kind of documentation, for example, we just had a customer yesterday who's requiring the salt spray testing for a specific module, as one of the customers was concerned about that. And then that's key if you're next to, and the warranty language that's around that is a key, obviously, when you're on the islands. Some module manufacturers require 500 feet or 500 meters, at least from the ocean line. When you're working in the Caribbean, that's almost nowhere because it just it just doesn't work that way. So that's one of the advantages that you have with Trinasolar, that all falls away due to the strong R&D and strong testing. And for example, the dual glass modules prevent that language and the warranty requirement. So you can use those very close to the ocean, on your oceanfront properties or oceanfront areas. So all very good. So as I said, please follow up with questions if there's anything else, and then we're here standing by.
Yeah, thank you, Boris, and also I'm really glad that you mentioned about this installation method. And like I always said, I encourage all of the clients that you may have to read the installation manuals, because we have different fixing methods, different maybe some grounding methods or some recommendations for your specific projects. And also, if you cannot find the thing that you want to do within our installation method, I also encourage you to reach out to, in this case, Boris, Renew Energy, which is the first contact window, so that we can see if we can do it, or maybe we have an additional amendment to our installation manual. But please do it before you do any installation, so that we can guide you on how to do it better. And also, and most important, not to lose your warranty on the modules, because if you do something that it's not, let's call it approved or double checked by the Trina team, it is really difficult to allow a warranty to go in if it's not, if you didn't follow the installation manual. Okay. So I think that Boris, if you do not have anything else to comment right now, I think that we can end this right here. And I thank you, Boris, for your space, for your time, and also to help us to reach all of the customers that we can reach with your help and this amazing partnership. Thank you. And guys, I hope that you can reach out to Boris, to Renew Energy, and he can help you to fulfill all of your projects.
Perfect. Thank you, Israel. Looking forward to it. And thank you for the partnership, Trina. And thank you for making the webinar happen today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. We will be sending you some information over your email. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.